Welcome to Teaching Truth. My name is Glenn Cartwright. When Michael Palin went around the world in 80 days, on day 20 he sailed across the Gulf of Oman. It's day 20 for us, and as we journey around the Tabernacle in 50 days, what we're going to look at today, the table of Showbread, reminds us of the gulf that existed between God and man, but also of the gulf that God bridged through the giving of his Son on the cross and the body of Jesus Christ that was given for us. Let's read together of the table of Showbread as we have it in Exodus chapter 25, verses 23 to 30. Make a table of acacia wood, 2 cubits long, a cubit wide and a cubit and a half high. Overlay it with pure gold and make a gold moulding around it. Also make around it a rim a handbreadth wide and put a gold moulding on the rim. Make 4 gold rings for the table and fasten them to the 4 corners where the 4 legs are. The rings are to be close to the rim to hold the poles used in carrying the table. Make the poles of acacia wood, overlay them with gold and carry the table with them. And make its plate and dishes of pure gold, as well as its pitchers and bowls for the pouring out of offerings. Put the bread of the presence on this table to be before me at all times. The smell, the aroma, the fragrance of freshly baked bread would fill the holy place. 12 new loaves of bread containing about 6 pounds of flour would have been arranged in 2 rows of 6 loaves each on this, the table of showbread. And the term showbread comes from a Hebrew word that means bread of the face or bread of presence. Now you ask, why was that? Well, it was that because the loaves were set before the face or the presence of Jehovah, who dwelt in the Holy of Holies, as a meal offering for the children of Israel. Read Leviticus chapter 24, verse 8. And God would have gazed with some delight on the pure bread offering that sat continually before his face. Now again, do you see the symbolism and the link with Jesus Christ here? God gazing, as it were, with delight on his Son, who died on the cross for you and I, giving his body, as it were, as that bread offering to restore us into that relationship with God. Bread is often called the staff of life, and the showbread was a foreshadowing of Jesus Christ, the true bread of life, the true bread of life who gives unfailing sustenance to all who eat and who partake of him. Isn't it interesting as well that Jesus was born in Bethlehem? What does Bethlehem mean? Bethlehem means house of bread. Jesus is pictured as the bread of life in many places throughout the scriptures. And here, as we think about the table of showbread, we're thinking about Jesus being the living bread. In the Lord's Prayer, we say, give us today our daily bread. And so the table pointing to Jesus, pointing to that living bread, is the place of satisfaction where we can eat and partake of what he has provided for us. Isn't it interesting as we read the passage that there were 12 loaves that were set out? 12 loaves, one for each tribe of the 12 tribes. And what does that tell us? Well, that tells us that none were excluded at all. None were excluded. And as we come to the Lord's table, come to communion, come to remember him, none of us are excluded. There is a place for us at the table because Jesus, our bread offering as it were, gave his body for us on the cross. The heavenly food that we read of in the tabernacle was made of the finest flour. That heavenly food creating the opportunity for heavenly fellowship, to meet God at his table. The place of satisfaction. The place of showbread, the bread of the presence of God. Let me finish with the words of a well-known hymn that's often sung by those in Wales. Guide me, O thou great Jehovah, pilgrim through this barren land. I am weak, but thou art mighty. Hold me with thy powerful hand. Bread of heaven, feed me till I want no more. Feed me till I want no more. The table of showbread in the tabernacle was a place of satisfaction, a place where the presence of God was, a place where the bread of life for us today can be obtained. Bread of heaven, feed me till I want no more. Join me once again on Monday as we continue with our journey around the tabernacle in 50 days, and as we continue looking at the furnishings within the tabernacle, and as we delve further and walk further into the tabernacle, as we look at the altar of incense, the veil, the Ark of the Covenant, and as we eventually arrive at the end of next week at the very epicenter of the tabernacle, the mercy seat. God bless you.